When her message popped up, I was still sitting in the driveway, the engine humming softly. Mom had written, "We changed all the locks on the front door and reset the gate code. We don't trust you anymore." I just stared at the screen, reading it twice before a slow smile crept across my face. Then I typed back, noted, "Clever move. But you forgot one thing," because she had. Back then, trust was the only language spoken in our house. Mom's voice was always calm, practiced like she was performing sainthood for an audience. Dad followed her lead, and my brother, their perfect golden child, didn't have to say much. He just soaked up their light. When I got into law school, they told me, "Don't get too confident. Pride comes before failure." When my brother wrecked their car while drunk, they said, "Everyone makes mistakes." That's how it always went. My success meant arrogance. His failures earned sympathy. But I kept quiet. I learned that silence can cut deeper than shouting. Things really broke after Dad died. Mom called a family meeting, hands folded like a judge ready to hand out mercy. "I'll handle the estate," she said. "Your father trusted me to keep things fair. The word tasted bitter. A week later, I found out the house, insurance, and savings were all transferred to my brother. She told the lawyers I drifted away from the family, painted me like some outsider. When I confronted her, she didn't raise her voice, she smiled. "You're too emotional for this kind of responsibility," she said. That line burned in my head for months. I didn't fight back, not then. I hugged my brother, thanked my mother, and left quietly. Because you can't start a war while you're still bleeding. I spent the next year studying estate law, digital security, power of attorney. I learned how control isn't stolen. It's given away piece by piece through trust. Mom forgot who had taught her how to use online banking, who set up her password manager, who linked every one of her devices to the same cloud backup. That was her biggest mistake. She thought cutting me off would shut me out. But she didn't realize the system she was using was one I built. When I got her message tonight, I didn't need access to the house. I already had everything that mattered. Her so-called fair redistribution of Dad's assets was fraudulent, easily proven by a forged signature on a PDF dated 2 days after his death. I'd already sent that file to the lawyer she trusted most, the same one who represented her. He didn't know I'd recorded our last call, the one where he admitted to tweaking the paperwork at her request. That recording went to the state bar, the forged document to the insurance company, and the rest to my brother's inbox with the subject line, "You deserve to know." Who Mom really trusted. When I hit send, I didn't feel anger or joy, just a calm, steady sense of closure. 2 hours later, her name flashed on my phone. She didn't text this time, she called. Her voice shook. "What did you do?" I stayed quiet for a moment. I wanted her to feel the silence she'd given me for years. Then I said, "I just gave everyone what's fair." She tried to respond, but her voice broke into static. In the background, I heard my brother yelling, something crashing, glass shattering. "Don't come here," she screamed. I almost laughed. "Don't worry," I said. "You changed the locks, remember?" And I hung up. The next morning, I parked down the street and watched as a police car idled by their gate. Her lawyer stood on the porch, sweating and red-faced. My brother was shouting something about betrayal. Mom just sat on the steps, staring at her phone like it was a loaded weapon. That's when I realized I didn't want their house, their money, or even their approval. I just wanted her to know what it felt like to be shut out of something you helped build. Later that evening, she texted, "You've ruined this family." I replied, "No, Mom. I just changed the code." Then I turned off my phone. Months later, I still drive past the house sometimes. The gate's always closed, the garden overgrown. Someone new owns it now. I don't stop. I don't need to. Revenge isn't about watching them fall, it's about walking away knowing they finally looked down. They changed the locks, but they forgot who drew the blueprint.